I own a copy of this movie, and I also have a Disney Plus account. Please support the official release. Anakin vs. Obi-Wan fight scene analysis. Let's get right into it. Anakin takes the initiative. They're both using a series of momentum-based attacks. They're feeling each other out. At one point, Obi-Wan gets Anakin's lightsaber in the bind. Obviously, after Anakin realizes this, he decides to kick Obi-Wan out of the way. The fight starts to escalate as both combatants make their way across the bridge. There's sparks flying everywhere. It's dramatic. They're probably both pretty tired by now. You even see some grappling, which is safe as long as you can control the other opponent's weapon. Somehow Anakin gets Obi-Wan in a chokehold. He's about to execute him until Obi-Wan kicks him out of the way. There's a bit of a melee, and Anakin almost gets executed himself. So you have to take into account for this scene that Obi-Wan's the master and Anakin is the student. And they train together. They know each other's moves. So they're doing a bunch of repetitive saber velocities, trying to psych each other out and changing up their combos just to get in one good strike. Even with the force push, that was just to gain an advantage, and they both happen to do the same thing. The fight moves outside, and Anakin begins to overpower Obi-Wan, and he decides to kick him out of the way. At this stage of the duel, the battle's been going on for a bit too long, and both combatants are pretty exhausted. Obi-Wan decides to try and find a more advantageous position, but Anakin pursues. The fighting gets pretty intense, and they both end up struggling and trying to overpower one another. There's a mix of some very high and very low strikes in this scene, which is interesting. So you normally wouldn't try to strike at the legs in a duel. You'd just try to move your legs out of the way. But I think this is supposed to stem from the two combatants trying to be more unpredictable. The scenery actually becomes quite the obstacle, and Anakin and Obi-Wan almost fall to their deaths, so that really makes the scene pretty dramatic. Anakin and Obi-Wan are still fighting, even though the situation seems pretty dire. Obi-Wan starts swinging around, and he tries to strike Anakin. Anakin does the same tactic. Obi-Wan finds a better position. But that's not enough to stop Anakin, so the young Jedi Knight decides that he's gonna take a droid for a ride and meet his master on the floating platform. They're fighting pretty sporadically. Lots of strategic velocities and thrashing. Obi-Wan's trying to stay calm. Be more like a, Jedi, when Anakin is more like a Sith, controlled by his emotions. Having a little fight with words, and that obviously isn't working at this stage. The only way to reason with Anakin is with a lightsaber. Anakin almost falls off the platform, and the fighting gets really close up and really fast. They get caught in a saber lock. Obi-Wan jumps out of the way to high ground. He tells Anakin that he has the high ground. But, Anakin is really pompous and tries to attack Obi-Wan, gets his limbs cut off. Defeat by hubris, I suppose. So, in the end, Obi-Wan ends up winning because Anakin is way too overconfident in his abilities as a new Sith and as the Chosen One. So overall, I thought this was a pretty entertaining fight. Also pretty dramatic and very effective. My bigger complaint would be all the jump cuts. It just seemed awkward. Like you missed some of the parts of the battle just because the Emperor Palpatine and the Yoda battle was happening at the same time. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. If I missed something, or if you have your own take on the fight, feel free to mention it in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.